Happy Wednesday, dog lovers. My name is Tiara with Tiara Speaks Dog. And although she's being unusually quiet today, Felicity Artist, the Pomeranian, is also joining us today. I hope you've had the opportunity to spend some quality time with your dog this week. As dog owners, we're constantly reminded that our dogs' lives are much shorter than our own. Every walk, every training session, every lazy afternoon on the couch is time that we don't get back. That's part of what makes our relationships with them so special. I'm returning after a very long hiatus from this podcast. During that time, a lot changed in my life. I ended a relationship, officially established my business as an LLC, and adopted the one and only Felicity. And as I reflected on everything that's happened to me since I last sat behind this microphone, I realized there was one theme connecting all of those experiences: stability. When people hear the word stability, different things come to mind. Some people think of financial stability because they're working towards a future where bills are paid comfortably and emergencies are less stressful. Others think of emotional stability because maybe they're navigating some grief, loss, or another major life transition. Still others think of physical stability because they're recovering from an illness or injury, or simply want their bodies to feel dependable again. Recently, I've been thinking about mechanical stability. Why, you ask? Well, I'm studying for my FAA Part 107 drone pilot certificate. One of my goals is to use drone footage to capture incredible overhead shots of dogs working off-leash in natural environments. From a quadcopter drone, stability means maintaining balanced flight. 4 motors constantly making tiny adjustments to produce equal and appropriate amounts of thrust. The moment one motor produces too much or too little force, then the aircraft begins to drift or tilt, lose control. I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with dogs? Actually, quite a lot. Dogs struggle with stability all the time. For dogs, stability is the ability to return to a calm, functional state after something disrupts them. Maybe it's the sudden hiss of an air brake on a passing bus. Maybe it's children on a playground. Maybe it's the sound of automatic doors opening at a shopping center. Maybe it's the knock at the front door that jolts them awake from a nap. The question isn't whether a dog notices these things. Every living creature notices changes in its environment. The question is, how quickly can the dog recover? How quickly can they return back to neutrality? A stable dog may startle or investigate or even briefly become excited, but then returns back to thinking clearly. Now, an unstable dog remains emotionally elevated long after the event has passed. That ability to recover is largely influenced by genetics. Research suggests that inhibitory control, and that is the ability for the being to resist impulses and make thoughtful choices, is strongly influenced by inherited traits. Now, some dogs naturally possess a greater ability to regulate themselves than others. And breed tendencies matter too. Let's take your livestock guardian breed. They may be genetically predisposed to remain vigilant toward environmental changes. A herding breed may be highly sensitive to movement. As a matter of fact, they generally are, I know from experience. A terrier may be genetically programmed to react quickly and intensely to small moving objects. Now, this doesn't mean that training those breeds away from those tendencies is useless, but it does mean that training is working with biology rather than pretending that it doesn't exist. So when your dog is holding a downstay position while a truck hisses, while children scream, while another dog barks nearby, they are actively practicing self-control in the face of competing instincts and emotions. That brings us to one of the most important lessons in dog training. Stability is not a destination. It is a skill. And like any skill, it requires maintenance. One of the most common questions clients ask me is, okay, when will this be fixed? I'm done with this. When will my dog be normal? The honest answer is that most behavioral issues are not permanently fixed in the way that a broken appliance is fixed. Instead, they are managed through practice, repetition, and continued exposure. Think of confidence the same way that you think of physical fitness. You don't go to the gym for 6 weeks, become strong, and then never exercise again. Strength fades. The same thing happens with emotional resilience. This is where desensitization and counterconditioning becomes so important. Desensitization is the process of gradually exposing a dog to something that concerns them at a level that they can successfully handle. Counterconditioning is the process of changing the dog's emotional response to that stimulus. For example, imagine a dog that is nervous around automatic doors. Desensitization might look like standing far enough away from the door that the dog notices them, but still remains calm. Counterconditioning is what happens when those doors begin to predict something wonderful. Food, play, praise, or another meaningful reward. Over time, the dog's emotional response changes. Instead of thinking, those doors are scary, the dog begins to think, interesting. Good things happen when those doors appear. Neither process happens overnight. Both require managed repetitions over weeks, months, and sometimes years. More importantly, both require upkeep. That's why Felicity and I regularly take dogs to shopping centers, parks, metro stations, outdoor dining areas, and a bunch of other real-world environments. We're not simply exposing dogs to distractions. We're helping them rehearse recovery. We're strengthening their ability to return to neutral after life inevitably throws something unexpected their way. In that sense, we're less like mechanics fixing a machine and more like coaches maintaining an athlete. Every outing is a workout. Every successful recovery is another repetition. Every calm decision is another layer of stability being built. And in a world that constantly throws surprises at our dogs, stability may be one of the most valuable skills we can teach. Thank you for joining Felicity and I for another episode of Tiara Speaks Dog. It's sunny after a good morning rain here in Hyattsville, Maryland, and the dogs are eager to get their workout started. So we're going to gear up, get out, and we hope you can join us sometime.